So, Judge Williams, did you have any nicknames in school?
Yes, I have blue eyes and I was pale, so they actually called me Russian face. Yeah, they still ask me if I'm Russian to this day.
Oh my word. Well, I mean, in that case, is appearance is everything? Can they be left up behind?
Yes, but a judge must always look for contrast and plain facts.
Evidence-based decisions, then.
That's it. Evidence is paramount to a judge.
Of course. Judge Williams, can I ask you a more personal question?
Sure.
It really left you with a lot to chew on and just so much to think about, because it's really not clear who's right and who's wrong. And I think that nobody was wrong. I think that different choices could have been made. But yeah, so it's really interesting. And I think also factoring in the woman being a public figure and having this moral stance of using fact-based evidence in order to make her decisions just adds another layer, another element to the story, because it's, you know, it's like, are you going to apply that blanket statement to everything, to all of your decisions, or does that change when now it could negatively impact you? So, I mean, did she make the right choice? No, I mean, yeah, I mean, she didn't intend to kill this man. Of course, she was just trying to protect herself, and you can tell how scary the situation was for her. And I mean, I think that the guy should have read the room a little bit differently. You know, did he need? I mean, I know that he wasn't necessarily following her because he also lived in the building, but he also needs to understand that, like, a single man, a single black man following a single white female at night, clearly she's running away and is scared. Why continue pursuing? Is the cilantro really that important? Like, no. So I don't think that he made the right choice either, but that's obviously not to say that the outcome is what should have happened. But I also really liked how, like, where they left the story off, because it would have been really interesting to see the choice that she made and how she handled all of that going forward. But I think kind of leaving it up in the air, and we're kind of hinted, you know, as she hides the cilantro behind her back, the choice that she's going to make. But just really leaves the audience with a lot to think about. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was well done. I thought the lighting was great. It was moody and dark, and it really gives you that mysterious, kind of creepy vibe where you really don't know what's going to happen. This man is constantly in the shadows, and he's just this mystery threat, and we are more or less in the woman's position the entire time until at the end, when, you know, we kind of are on the journey with her, when we realize, oh, he lives in the building. Oh, he was just trying to return this thing. So took the audience along for a ride, super enjoyable. And I love that it really left some food for thought.
It kind of like encapsulated every woman's fear of like walking alone and being followed and like stalked, and something bad's going to happen. And then the twist at the end where it turns out that's actually her neighbor. Wow. Wow. A misunderstanding is what they call that. Still creepy though. And I think you do a great job of setting up this woman as someone who knows the law, knows about evidence, is this confident judge, and is, you know, part of the law only to break it and like kill this man at the end. Which, like, also like kind of naturally so, but like nothing happened, you know, it gets in that gray area, and you can see like the fear in this actress's eyes at the end where she's like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. But yeah, a really interesting short. The pacing of this was really good, really kept you on your toes. And it was just really interesting to watch.
I think one of my favorite things about Evidence was the twist at the end. Especially because it definitely felt like it was parodying a lot of your thriller tropes, especially because, I don't know, I hope it wasn't about race, but it definitely doesn't look good that a black man approached her and she ran. And then her first thought was to knock him out. When in reality, all he was doing was returning a yogurt. Uh, it's like one of those tips where it's like, if someone actually meant harm, especially if they come into the apartment that is locked, like there were a lot of flags that maybe assaulting the person wasn't the best call, but that's on her. uh, and I think the neighbor also thought the same thing with the look she gave at the end.
This is an outstanding script. Very clearly, they stated that um, sometimes so many facts and assumptions are mixed up or entangled, and this is a life lesson with great performance and showcasing the importance of evidence to support what someone is saying and holding true to yourself and being uh, having integrity in all aspects of life. It is just quite deep. The situation is 100% likely or plausible, and the reactions as well are kind of very natural to human nature. And it is, I think it's quite short, but they did an amazing job of portraying what evidence is and how it really relates to everything we do. And some positions of power or representation, public representation, should never misuse the evidence. And this is just amazing. I really enjoyed it. This is life lesson. Check.
The actors did a really good job in their roles, so it has nothing to do with the acting ability. I thought it was really well done. The lead female was really good and strong in her character. This is a NYFR production. I love New York Film Academy, so I am, there's probably a reason why it was a younger cast. I thought the music was really good and a good accompaniment to this short. To me, it was very suspenseful. And I actually really, really liked this plot, this story, because I've thought about this before. I'm sure a lot of people have. It's very relatable in the sense that you can easily suspect, especially for women, I think, you feel like you're being followed by somebody to your car or to your house. You feel like somebody's behind you and you're not really sure whether to take it as a threat or not. And this person is a judge, so they are taught to just go by the facts in a case. And then, of course, now she finds herself in a situation where that, black and white isn't necessarily black and white. So I really, really liked the story, the writing, I thought the whole thing technically was very good, actually. Just the cast was a little bit young for me and kind of took me out of it a little bit in the beginning. But after that, I just kind of suspended my disbelief and enjoyed this film very much.
Well, a lot of women think that if someone's following you, especially at night, that their intentions probably aren't good, even though they could be. This was clearly made by a man who's not thinking about what a woman thinks at night, which means if being followed, that the man should identify himself and what he needs, not just shout, "Hey lady," because that's going to make anyone run. Because she was right, that is how women think, is we run when we don't know what someone's doing. So I think if this would go to trial, as a judge, she knows she'd get off. There's enough where she could testify from her heart to say, yeah, he was following her and didn't identify what he wanted. So it was more his fault than hers.
The fear of being followed home is a very real fear, and it really encapsulates that. Yeah, and I think the lead actress did a good job of their performance. yeah, I think overall it's very solid. You can feel the tension overall.